Hey guys, it's Ray here from rwilco12 and epicdroid.com, and I'm here today with 3 cases from my friends over at Caseology. Now these 3 cases are all for the Google Pixel 2 XL. There are 3 different cases here. They go from the highest amount of protection here on the left, going to the least amount of protection on the right, as well as the highest priced on the left to the lowest on the right. So here we have the Legion case. This goes for $15. We have the Parallax case for $14 and the Vault for $12. Now don't get me wrong, I did say this offers the most protection and this offers the least. They all offer an amazing amount of protection and they do a great job of protecting your device in just about any situation. You're just going to get a little bit more protection with the Parallax and then with the Legion than you would with the Vault. But all 3 are awesome cases, and we're going to go and we're going to show you all 3 of these cases here today. So we're going to start out with the Legion. Now the Legion is a 2-piece case. There is a soft TPU layer and then there's this hard plastic layer. Now most of those cases, when you get those, you would separate them in order to put them on in 2 different pieces. You put the soft one on first and then you put the hard one on after. I would not recommend that with this case. There is this little teeny plastic clip where the hard plastic goes into the soft TPU layer, and if you pull that out, it is extremely difficult to get that back in there. So I don't normally like doing this, but I will go ahead and I'll do it this time. But you go ahead and you just do that by putting your right buttons on in, and you want to the right side in with the buttons in first, that way you're not damaging the buttons, and then you're going to push it down into those corners. Now it is an extremely tight fit, and once you get that on there, it is going to be very difficult to get off. And if you're trying to get it off, that's when you might want to separate the 2 layers, but even then I don't know that I would, because it was I played around with it trying to get it there and it was extremely difficult for me to get those 2 layers back together. Now as you can see here, it's a very thick case. It has a lot of cool features to it. One of the first things I notice about it is it has these feet here in the corners. It's a little bit difficult to see on the camera, but there is a raised edge right here on this piece, and it has that in all 4 of the corners. That allows you to set the phone on its back without worrying about scratching up the hard plastic. It also has a raised lip around the front of the case, and it's especially thick on the bottom and the top. That allows you to put the phone face down without having to worry about scratching the screen. The corners are all very thick TPU, and so if you were to drop that on the corner, it does give you some impact resistance there, and it provides some additional protection for the phone. We have the cutout here for the camera as well as the flash, and you have another cutout for the fingerprint sensor. The fingerprint sensor, it is really deep, so it is a little bit more difficult to use. Not significantly difficult, but it is a little bit more difficult than it would be without a case or with, say, maybe the Legion or the Parallax. Here up top, we have a cutout for the noise canceling mic. Here on the bottom, we have a cutout for the USB-C charging port. It is a rather deep one, so if you have a head on your USB-C charger that's a little bit bigger than average, you may have a difficult time getting that in there, but overall you should be able to use just about any USB-C charger with that. Here on the sides, we do have the power and the volume buttons. As you can see, there's no issues using those. They respond the way that they should. They do lose a little bit of their clickiness. They don't feel quite as responsive as they would without a case or with some of the single layer cases, but it doesn't impact that too much. Here on the bottom you have that spot where you can squeeze it and activate the Google Assistant, and it does work with that. It does require a little bit more of a grip just because you're having to squeeze both the hard TPU layer, the hard plastic layer, and the soft TPU. So this here is an awesome case if you're looking for something to protect your device in a wide variety of situations. It does come in a wide variety of colors as well, so you're not just stuck with this rose gold pink color. There are a couple of other options there for you. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at the Parallax now. So just like the Legion case, the Parallax case is a dual layer case. It has the soft TPU piece as well as the hard plastic. Rather than being the hard plastic going across the whole back of the device, it has this layer that goes around the whole outside. Now this one's not quite as difficult to take off as not as difficult to put it back on when you take it off like it was with the Legion, but I still would not recommend taking this one off. I would leave it on for when you're putting it on the phone, because it has these 2 clips here that hold it in place and makes it a little bit more difficult. So to put the case on, you want to do the same thing you did with the Legion. You want to start with the right side where the power and the volume buttons are. You want to put those down in there first, push it down in, and as you can see there, it's a very tight fit. But once you get that on, that is on very tightly, and it's going to be very snug on there and is not going to come off. Neither this case or the Legion case are ever going to come off unless you try really hard and if you want them to come off. So the Parallax case has the cutout here for the camera and the flash, and it has another one here for the fingerprint sensor. The fingerprint sensor on this one is a little bit more shallow than the Legion was, so it is easier to use. Again, it's deeper than most cases, but it does have that nice grade down in, or that incline, and it goes all the way around, so you can use it from multiple angles if you're holding your phone upside down or whatnot. Here on the side, we have the power and the volume buttons. There's no issues using any of them. As you can see, very responsive, no issues with that. Again, with the same thing as the Legion case, it is a little less responsive than it was without a case, but it's not a big deal. So here on the bottom, you have the soft TPU layer where you can squeeze that to activate Google Assistant. It's much more responsive than it was on the Legion just because of the fact that it's only a single layer of TPU instead of being the TPU and the hard plastic. Here on this piece as well, you can also see that there's some texture there that provides some additional grip for you when you're holding the phone so that you're less likely to drop it. And it has that on both sides from top to bottom. Here on the back, we do have this textured pattern here. It's kind of a little hexagon pattern and just provides a little bit of extra grip and makes it look a little bit fancier there. I really like the Parallax case. It's probably one of my favorite cases as far as looks go. And it's a very stylish looking case that provides an awesome amount of protection and will give you what you need to take care of your device. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at the Vault case now. So here we have the Vault case, and the Vault case is different from the other two in that this one is just a soft TPU case. It's a very flexible case and it fits on the phone very comfortably, and I would have to say out of the three cases, this one is probably my favorite. To put this one on, you do the same thing as the other ones. You just go ahead and you slide that on in. And just like the other ones, it is a tight fit. It is not as tight as it was on the other two just because this is a single layer rather than a dual layer, but it is an awesome case. My favorite feature of this case, and I know it sounds a little bit cheesy, but my favorite feature is this brushed metal look. It has a nice smooth texture to it, so you're not going to be feeling it too much, but it has that awesome look to it, so you get that metal look and just looks awesome and looks fancy. Here up top, you have some additional carbon fiber cutout piece. It looks awesome as well. I think the Vault is the best looking of the three cases, and it's also the case that I prefer because it just fits the most comfortably in my hand. Along the sides, it's a smoother grip. You don't have that texture that you do with the Parallax, but because it's a grippier TPU, I don't find that it slips around a lot and I have no problems holding it. Here on the sides, you do have the cutouts, or the buttons, and there's a slight cutout around the edges of them, so it makes it much more responsive than the other two, almost as if there's no case on there at all. Here at the bottom, you do have the grip to the squeeze to activate Google Assistant. No issues using that whatsoever. Here on the back, you have the cutout for the flash and for the camera. You also have the cutout for the fingerprint sensor. The fingerprint sensor is a little bit shallower than the Parallax, and no issues using that. Here up top, we have the cutout for the noise canceling mic, and then here on the bottom, we have the cutout for the USB-C charging port. This one is a little bit bigger, and it's less deep than the Legion and the Parallax was, so it will allow you to use just about any USB-C charging cord that is out there. Now, so as far as the three cases go, I like them all. They all offer a lot of the same features, but it really depends on what you're trying to do and how much money you're willing to spend. It's not a huge price difference. I mean, this one's $12 and this one's $15, so you're looking at $3 difference. For me, I prefer this case just because it's a little bit more minimalistic, and I like the feel of it as well as the look. I feel it offers enough protection while still looking good and providing me what I need at a lower cost. The other two cases are both awesome. I really like the Parallax. The Legion I like. I would prefer a different color for the Legion, but all in all, they are all great cases. I'll have links to where you can order any of these three cases in the video description down below. If you have any questions about any of these or any other Caseology cases, feel free to hit us up in the comment section. We'll answer those questions as we are available. If this video has been helpful to you, please give us a thumbs up and remember to share it with your friends. And as always, just want to tell you guys thank you for watching. Thank you for all your support, and you all have an awesome day.